Did you know that comparing yourself to others might be silently stealing your happiness? Research shows that people who frequently compare themselves to others experience higher anxiety and lower life satisfaction. But here is the surprising part. Comparison isn't just a bad habit. It is something we've been conditioned to. We do it without even thinking. So let me ask you, when was the last time you scrolled through social media and felt that pang of jealousy? Or maybe that flicker of self-doubt? In this video, we are diving deep into the hidden impact of comparison, how it silently damages your emotional, mental, and even physical well-being. But more importantly, I will show you how to break free from this habit and start embracing your unique, powerful self. By the end of this video, you will have actionable steps to stop giving your power away to comparison and start focusing on your own journey and growth. Comparison doesn't just hurt how we feel about ourselves, it distorts the way we view the world and our relationships with others. Have you ever felt proud of a personal achievement only to find that comparing it to someone else's success made it feel less important? Instead of celebrating your growth, comparison makes you feel like it's not enough. This constant measuring against others strips away your ability to truly appreciate your own progress. And it's not just your self-worth that gets hurt. It starts to affect the way you see others too. You begin to view them as competition instead of allies, which can create distance in relationships. Let's think about it. How many times have you hit a milestone in your journey only to feel it's not enough because someone else is further ahead? You've worked hard, made progress, but instead of celebrating your success, you find yourself thinking, why am I not there yet? This is the danger of comparison. It distorts the meaning of what success truly is. Success isn't a one-size-fits-all formula. It's a personal journey, one that is unique to you. But when you are constantly looking outward, you forget to honor your own path, and every step forward feels insignificant compared to someone else's. And it doesn't stop there. Comparison doesn't just mess with how we see our own journey. It also ruins our relationships with others. When we are caught up in comparing ourselves to people around us, it often triggers jealousy, frustration, and even anger. We start viewing others as competitors rather than allies. A friend's success feels like a personal failure. We get frustrated when others seem to have it easier or are achieving more. And instead of celebrating their wins, we start resenting them. This creates a toxic environment, not just within ourselves, but also in our relationships. We start becoming reactive, aggressive, angry, or passive in our interactions. That jealousy, that envy, that frustration, it's projected into our daily actions, in how we interact with others, or worse, how we avoid interacting altogether. We may even sabotage our own connections because deep down we fear that we are not enough or that we will always fall short compared to others. And it doesn't just stay in our minds, it seeps into our lives, influencing our actions. Mentally, when we are stuck in comparison, we can experience chronic stress and anxiety, creating a cloud of self-doubt that feels almost impossible to shake. These feelings can quickly spiral into feelings of inadequacy or depression. We become so fixated on measuring up to someone else that we lose sight of our own worth, which can damage our self-esteem and sense of identity. Physically, the effects of comparison can manifest in stress-related symptoms, fatigue, disrupted sleep, and even weakened immunity, because our body is constantly on edge, trying to keep up with the imagined standards we've set based on someone else's life. When we are stuck in the trap of comparison, it limits our motivation to pursue our own goals. Instead of focusing on what we can do, we fixate on what others are doing, and that's a dangerous cycle. We become paralyzed by the feeling that we will never be good enough, and it keeps us from taking meaningful action towards our personal growth. We lose our energy, our creativity, and our ability to celebrate our own progress. That's the real danger of comparison. It pulls us away from everything that could make us truly happy. Now that we've explored how comparison affects our emotional, psychological, and physical well-being, you might be asking yourself, how do I stop comparing myself to others? It's understandable to feel that way. Everywhere we turn, it seems there is a reminder of where we should be, what we are missing, or what we are not doing right. And yes, we live in a world that constantly encourages comparison. Social media, work culture, and even casual conversations can trigger it. But here is the twist. It's not about eliminating comparison altogether. It's about shifting our perspective, turning comparison from an enemy into an ally. It's about learning how to use comparison as a tool for growth, so it empowers you instead of holding you back. So let's explore 5 powerful strategies that you can start implementing today to stop giving your power away to comparison and instead harness it to fuel your own journey. The first step is embrace your authentic journey. Too often, we are caught up in trying to fit into someone else's mold, measuring ourselves against their standards, goals, and achievements. The reality is, you were never meant to follow someone else's path. The pressure to conform can be overwhelming, especially when society bombards us with images of what success should look like. Yet, true power lies in authenticity. The moment you embrace your unique self, the person you genuinely are, you will stop comparing and start truly living. Each of us has a unique combination of talents, dreams, and experiences. That's what makes us irreplaceable. When you constantly compare yourself to others, you are robbing yourself of the opportunity to shine in your own light. The truth is, when you embrace your individuality, comparison becomes irrelevant. Imagine if someone like Oprah Winfrey had spent her life comparing herself to others, thinking she wasn't smart enough or didn't fit into the traditional media world. She wouldn't be the icon she is today. Instead, Oprah embraced her authenticity, her voice, her story, her uniqueness, and that's why she became a trailblazer. The problem with comparison is that it often leads us down the path of conformity. We begin to think we need to follow someone else's idea of success, whether it's following a career path that doesn't excite us or adopting someone else's values. But living authentically means deciding for yourself what success looks like. Authenticity is the ultimate rebellion against conformity. It's about stepping into your true self without trying to copy someone else's playbook. Now, this doesn't mean you will never face challenges or moments of self-doubt. Embracing your authentic journey isn't about ignoring those moments. It's about accepting them as part of your growth. We've all been conditioned to compare ourselves in a world that constantly shows us curated versions of success. But what if instead of asking, why am I not there yet, you ask, what is my version of success? It's time to stop trying to fit into someone else's box. Your path doesn't have to look like anyone else's to be valid. You don't need to conform to the standards set by others. You have the power to create your own. Every time you catch yourself comparing, ask, is this comparison helping me embrace my authenticity, or is it just pushing me toward conformity? Every time you let go of the comparison and embrace your true self, you step into your full power. So I challenge you to ask yourself this. What does authenticity look like for me? What do I want my journey to be, regardless of what anyone else is doing? Take a moment and reflect on that, because that's where the magic lies. Your path is unique. It is yours to define. And when you start living it authentically, comparison loses all its power. Step number 2, recognize that life isn't a competition. Life isn't a race. The only person you are truly in competition with is the person you were a moment ago. Think about that for a second. Imagine the freedom in that. You have the power to improve, evolve, and create a completely new version of yourself at any time. Right now, in this very moment, you have the choice to become the best version of yourself, not bound by the standards set by others or by society's limited view of what success should look like. Society often pressures us to think that success looks a certain way. Get a stable job, buy a house, climb the corporate ladder, achieve fame or wealth. But let's be clear, success is not a one-size-fits-all concept. What success means to you is personal, and only you get to decide what it looks like. If you are constantly comparing yourself to others, you might find yourself chasing someone else's version of success, not your own. But what if success isn't a race at all? What if it's about progress, personal growth, and staying true to your own vision of fulfillment? It's time to challenge the idea that your life has to follow a certain formula. Everyone's journey is unique, and that's the beauty of it. You are free to define success in your own terms. No one can tell you how your story should unfold. Only you can write that narrative. And that freedom is liberating. You don't need to compare your chapter 1 to someone else's chapter 20. Your journey is yours to create, with its own set of milestones, challenges, and victories. So let's shift our mindset. Instead of seeing other people's successes as a reminder of what we don't have, let's start seeing it as inspiration. Think about it. When you see someone succeeding in an area that you want to succeed in, what is your first reaction? Is it jealousy or frustration? Or can you reframe it as something else? I personally love seeing others succeed in areas I aspire to. Their success isn't a reminder of my shortcomings. It's a proof that what I want is possible. If they can do it, so can I. It becomes a source of motivation, not resentment. I've learned to turn comparison into inspiration. Instead of feeling drained or discouraged by someone else's success, I get energized by their journey. I want to know how they did it. What obstacles did they overcome? What did they learn along the way? When I shift my mindset this way, their success becomes a reminder that the dreams I have are just as valid and they are within reach. Success is not about beating others. It's about making progress in your own life. And the best part, the only race that matters is the one you are having with yourself, to become better than you were yesterday. Now, step number 3, redefine who you are. Part of breaking free from the grip of comparison is making peace with who you are, both the person you've been and the person you are becoming. Who you were yesterday doesn't define who you can be today. You are not your job, not your background, not your titles, or even your mistakes or accomplishments. These are just experiences along your journey. Life itself is neutral until we give it meaning. And the most empowering part, the power to define yourself, your purpose, and your direction is entirely in your hands. Let me share something that completely shifted my perspective on this. You are not your circumstances. You are so much more than the labels people have given you or the achievements you've racked up. You are an infinite being, not confined by time, place, or anyone's perception of you. You can't be limited by what you've done, where you've been, or what others think. You are limitless. And here's the exciting part. You get to choose what meaning to give your life. Picture life as a movie, and you are both the lead actor and the director. You decide how the plot unfolds, where the story goes, and the meaning behind it all. Everyone else is playing their own unique role in their own movies. They are on their own journey. You are the only audience, and you are the only one who gets to judge the value of your life story. So when you really think about it, there is no reason to compare your journey to anyone else's. Every person is on their own path, starring in their own movie. The only person you need to compete with is the person you were yesterday. That's where your true power lies, in becoming a better version of yourself, not a replica of someone else. Now, how do you go about redefining who you are and letting go of external comparison? It starts with reflection and intention. Here are 4 actionable steps to help you on that path. 1. Journaling. Write down what you truly want from life. What lights you up, what excites you, what truly fulfills you. Get clear on your core values and what success looks like for you, not anyone else. This practice can help you uncover your unique desires and passions that may have been hidden beneath external expectations. 2. Meditation and mindfulness. Spend some time in silence connecting with your inner self. Let go of distractions and simply sit with your thoughts and feelings. Meditation can help you access your inner wisdom and reconnect with your true self beyond the roles and labels you carry. 3. Set personal goals. Shift the focus from external measures of success to internal personal growth. Set goals that align with your authentic desires and values. Ask yourself, what kind of person do I want to become? And what small steps can I take today to get closer to that person? These are the goals that will fuel your growth and help you measure success in your own terms. 4. Practice self-compassion. Redefining yourself takes time, and it's a process of self-discovery. Be kind to yourself as you work through these changes. Recognize that you are constantly evolving, and every step is a valuable part of your journey. By committing to these 4 steps, you create a new story for yourself. One that is free from the constraints of comparison and focused on your unique potential. You are the author of your own life. There is no need to compare your chapter 1 with someone else's chapter 20. You have the power to create the life you truly desire. Step number 4, look inward. not outward. Instead of viewing others as competitors, what if you looked at them as reflections of yourself? This is where the real transformation happens, when you recognize that what you see in others, whether positive or negative, is often a mirror of something within you. Here is how it works. If you notice something in someone else that triggers you, instead of labeling them as wrong or bad, pause and ask yourself, why is this triggering me? It could be a reflection of something within yourself that still needs healing or growth. Let me share a personal example. When I encounter people displaying qualities like rudeness, arrogance, or injustice, my initial reaction might be to feel frustrated or upset. But instead of simply blaming them for their behavior, I take a step back and ask, why is this triggering me? What is it revealing about me? Is there something within me that feels unworthy, inadequate, or unheard? Am I carrying unresolved emotions or limiting beliefs that needs healing? For instance, I once interacted with someone who was being dismissive and rude. My first reaction was anger and frustration. But instead of letting those emotions take over, I paused and asked myself, what is it about this energy that I don't prefer? And I realized that I didn't like the energy of disrespect. What do I prefer instead? I prefer kindness, calmness, and empathy, treating others with respect and making them feel heard. So instead of holding onto the negativity, I chose to let go of the emotions that weren't aligned with my values and focused on cultivating the kindness I wanted to embody. This is the power of using others as reflections. When you feel triggered by someone else's behavior, instead of letting it pull you into judgment or comparison, see it as an opportunity for self-discovery and growth. Ask yourself, what do I prefer? What does this situation reveal about my own needs or insecurities? By doing so, you are not comparing yourself to others. You are reconnecting with your own values and choosing how you want to show up in the world. The next time you feel triggered by comparison or someone else's success, take a moment to reflect and ask yourself these questions. 1. What does this trigger reveal about my own insecurities or needs? 2. What about this situation or person is reflecting something within me that I need to address? 3. What do I prefer in this situation? How can I realign myself with my own values? These questions encourage mindfulness and self-awareness, helping you shift from comparison to self-reflection. By understanding your triggers, you can better align with your authentic self and let go of unnecessary judgment. By the way, I invite you to watch my video Emotional Triggers to help you identify and understand better your own. I will leave a link in the description below. Now, let's move to step number 5. Let go of judgment. What others think of you is none of your business. And in the same way, it's not your role to judge others. Think about it. Judging others is usually a reflection of self-judgment. When we judge, it's often because we are insecure about something within ourselves. So ask yourself, who are we to judge? Based on what and why? Letting go of judgment frees us from yet another form of comparison. It creates more space for us to simply be ourselves, without the need to measure up or fit into someone else's idea of who we should be. But let's dive deeper into this judgment thing. We are all guilty of it. Even more so, we are often our harshest critics. If you take a moment and listen to your inner dialogue, you will probably be shocked by how critical you are of yourself all day long. We have a constant stream of thoughts that puts us down, judge our every move, and tell us we are not good enough. Think about it. How many times have you told yourself that you are not doing enough, not smart enough, or not successful enough? That inner critique can be relentless. And it's not just us. We do it with others too, all the time. We judge people based on what we see on the surface, on their achievements, their status, their looks, or the way they behave. But here's the thing. Others are a reflection of us again. Whether we see light or darkness in them, it's a reflection of something inside us. We see the world not as it is, but as we are. The judgment we place on others is often just a projection of our own insecurities, fears, and unresolved issues. If we could look at others without judgment, we would see them more clearly, as human beings with their own struggles and journeys. Imagine if instead of judging others, we started observing them. What if we saw people not as someone we need to compare ourselves to, but as mirrors reflecting something in us? If we see something we like in someone else, whether it's confidence, kindness, or success, it's an invitation to nurture that within ourselves. On the flip side, if we see something we dislike, maybe aggression, rudeness, or selfishness, it's an opportunity to look inward and ask, why am I seeing this? What in me is being triggered? It could be a signal that there is something within us that needs healing or growth, or a boundary that needs to be addressed to protect our well-being. When we stop comparing and start observing, we stop the cycle of judgment. We begin to see the world as it truly is, not through the lens of our own fears or insecurities. And in doing so, we improve ourselves, not by trying to be someone else, but by understanding and embracing who we truly are. To truly let go of judgment, we need to practice becoming aware of our thoughts and reactions without immediately labeling them. One of the most effective ways to do this is through mindfulness or meditation. These 5 practices can help us create space between our thoughts and reactions, allowing us to observe ourselves without judgment. Here is a simple exercise you can try. Find a quiet space. Sit in a comfortable position and close your eyes. Focus on your breath. Take a few deep breaths to center yourself. Notice the sensations of the air entering and leaving your body. If your mind wanders, gently bring it back to your breath. Observe your thoughts. As thoughts come up, try to observe them without judgment. Rather than labeling them as good or bad, simply notice them. You might say to yourself, "Oh, there is that thought again about not being enough," or "I'm feeling jealous right now." The key is to acknowledge the thought without attaching any judgment to it. Redirect with compassion. If you catch yourself judging, pause and ask, "Why am I feeling this way?" Instead of criticizing yourself for judging, offer compassion. Be curious. Acknowledge that it's a natural human reaction, but remind yourself that you don't have to hold on to it. Gently redirect your focus back to your breath and your inner peace. Practice regularly. The more you practice mindfulness and meditation, the easier it becomes to cultivate a non-judgmental attitude. Over time, you will start to notice that you judge yourself and others less, and you create more space for acceptance and understanding. Remember, your path is entirely unique, and no one can measure it but you. Instead of comparing, try shifting your focus to compassion towards yourself and others. Acknowledge your growth, however small, and take a moment to celebrate each step forward. These moments of progress, however subtle, are the building blocks of the person you are becoming. It's not about being better than anyone else, it's about evolving into the best version of yourself at your own pace. You see, there is a world full of comparison, judgment, and negativity, but you have the power to create something different. Imagine what happens when we stop competing with others and instead offer compassion, encouragement, and kindness, both to ourselves and the people around us. That shift alone brings more joy, connection, and fulfillment into your life than any external comparison could ever offer. So here's something I want to leave you with today. Every moment you catch yourself comparing, take a deep breath and remind yourself of the path you are on. Your path, your pace. Reflect on the process you've made, even if it's not always visible to others. You are doing amazing things, even when it feels like no one is watching. If you found this message helpful and if you are looking to dive even deeper into emotional wellness, I've created the ultimate guide to lasting emotional wellness to help you build an unshakable foundation for your well-being. You will find the link in the description below. Give it a look if you are ready to invest in your growth. And if this video resonated with you, it would mean a lot if you gave it a thumbs up, shared it with someone who could use a little more self-compassion in their life, and subscribe for more content like this. I truly appreciate you being here. Thank you for your time and attention. Keep shining, and I will see you in the next video. Much love.